Pogba shrugs, the Dortmund of the Premier League, and keep your mails coming to theater at football365.com. The joy of being Dortmund. It strikes me that Borussia Dortmund are one of the most fascinating as well as fortunate clubs in any of the major leagues today. We all know that they routinely sell their best players, usually for a very handy profit. In the past 5 years, they've sold Hummels, Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, Aubameyang, Dembele, Pulisic, Yarmolenko, Alcacer, Diallo, and Sancho, amongst others. This lot has earned them about £470 million in fees and cost them around 25% of that. That's an amazing business model, especially for a club whose shares are publicly traded. On the pitch too, their story is interesting. They last won the Bundesliga in 2012, but have been runners-up 5 times since then. They've won the German Cup 3 times in the past decade. It's fair to say that they are the best of the rest after Bayern. They obviously have built this amazing youth development system which aligns with their business model, and they are a magnet for both young players, for career development, as well as their agents, for future fees. A finishing school for the most expensive players of tomorrow. The magic trick that Dortmund are able to pull off is simply this. The fans don't seem to complain about their lack of ambition. Because we know they will sell Haaland and Bellingham for similarly eye-watering sums of money. Yet, given the disparity of the German league, nobody grudges them the lack of league titles. We don't hear of discontent amongst the fans of a lack of ambition to go past Bayern. Dortmund fans are invited to write in and share what they think of this. Also, because of the relative lack of competition, they are always good enough to make it to the Champions League regularly, and that works well for the players' showcase. I would suggest that Dortmund are similar to a Leicester, who have been similarly good at finding good talent and selling them for relatively high margins. But Leicester fans, I'm sure, will be happier if they can retain those players and be regular Champions League participants than missing out by the skin of their teeth every year. Imagine the Premier League with Man City, Leicester, and a bunch of other clubs which are of the quality of, say, Everton and the current Arsenal. It's both an indictment of the German league as well as a compliment to Dortmund for how well they've been able to play this game. Vedsen, London, MUFC. City FFP. Damn squib, it seems more and more clear that Man City cheated, and the Mail on Sunday article seems to shed light on how hard the club has been trying to stall progress, conceal evidence and avoid negative publicity. I think it's clear to every rational person that City cheated their way to the top. No matter how loudly you shout time barred, that doesn't mean they didn't cheat. It means they avoided punishment on a technicality. There is a legitimate argument about the fairness of the rules. If the owner can afford to chuck a load of money at the club, then why shouldn't he? FFP didn't exist when Abramovich took over Chelsea and made them a force, so why can't Sheikh Mansour do the same now? The more pressing question is what exactly the Premier League hopes to achieve. They won't strip them of titles or deduct points because Man City are now at the top of the food chain, and Pep plus the players help bring in the big TV money, which makes all the executives happy. The only logical conclusion is that the Premier League just want to extract a heavy fine to pay their own exorbitant salaries, which seems a bit pointless, transferring money from a sportswashing nation to a boys' club that is only motivated by self-interest. This makes for interesting reading, but my suspicion is that any outcome is likely to be a damp squib. Minty, LFCA collective. Pogba shrug, frankly bewildered at Daniel Cambridge's email regarding Pogba. On the hallowed pages of F365, from the mailbox to Media Watch, on TV panels reviewing matches, on every sports page in every newspaper, there can hardly be a better aired topic than United's many problems over the last 10 years. No one anywhere has ever laid all the blame at Pogba's inconsistent feet. There can be few footballing personalities as reviled as Edward Woodward. His baffling footballing incompetence scrutinized, analyzed, and dissected weekly. The failed transfer windows, the poor coaching, the dreadful management. Mourinho, Solskjaer, Van Gaal, is Daniel suggesting none of these have been criticized? He must be a new reader of F365. In fact, I'd sympathize with supporters of smaller clubs who have to read yet another Woodward-Mourinho out mailbox analysis. The transformative influence of a truly world-class player with desire and focus is there for all to see. The impacts of Bruno Fernandes and Virgil van Dijk, prime examples. Pogba promotes himself at that level, that he is one of the world's greatest, yet he has never had the impact to justify his marketing. The responsibility for United's success is not, and shouldn't be, Pogba's alone. Responsibility for his performances is, however. And no one could claim he has come close to satisfying his enormous potential in a red shirt. For both parties, it is time to end it. He will depart not in triumph and appreciation, but with a collective shrug of the shoulders. The fault for that is entirely his. Stephen, Dublin, leave with some dignity. Paul Dear Daniel, at no point did Mr. Watson give the impression he was blaming Pogba for all United's woes. You could choose to believe everything you've written, and it still wouldn't change the fact that Mr. Pogba has gone missing either by well-timed injuries or while on the pitch. His bottom line is basically buttressed by part of your defense. United needed to get a good loyal partner that would stand strong during rough times and instead started life by marrying the entitled luxury second wife that wouldn't lift a finger to help do anything. These sort of descriptions are too rampant with Pogba. He's the specialized iPod which only works with the right charger, the beta dog who becomes clueless and less brave when the alpha doesn't show up. It hasn't worked, and now, like an entitled luxury partner, he doesn't want to leave. The key issue is he's not signing a contract because he wants to see what will be the best option for him in a year. Mainly this is because he has only 4 options, 3 are skint, and he already apparently antagonized the other by talking up a rival in Marseille. Would love for him to stay, but if he offers nothing, then leave with some dignity. Or is that something that's hard to comprehend? Teamy, MUFC Trust and Marina reading the top 10 spenders at F365 and not finding Chelsea on that list is for a change very nice. Chelsea each season are busy buying truckload of players, some of which are hits, some duds, and some still trying to fall in one of those buckets. Chelsea obviously are well run, and they prefer buying young players with great potential and sell on value or go for uber experience on cheap to solidify the team. Chelsea usually does not target the players who are already world-class as they want to avoid paying over the top premium for such players. And not being in the list of top spenders in this still early stage gives me great hope that they will make an exception this season to bring in a world-class player, which is Haaland. That should surely light up both Chelsea as well as EPL, with other teams also adding up quality. We also probably need one good defender and get rid of Deadwood from the team. But I trust Marina to do the job. BCFC really excited for Haaland and Chelsea to be top of all tables. Penalty thoughts. 1. Should the person fouled in the penalty area take the penalty? 2. Should all players requiring on-field medical assistance be required to spend an equal amount of time on the sideline? This would discourage floppers and provide true recovery time for the truly injured. 3. Should matches ending in a draw go to a penalty shootout for the third point? This would sharpen penalty taking across the spectrum. Your thoughts please. Tony.